Moving on to our next order of business, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. President. Our next order of business is the inspirational message from our speaker. And to introduce our inspirational speaker this afternoon, may our Plant Tours Director, Engineer Orlan C. Moriones, be recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Our Plant Tours Director, Engineer Orlan C. Moriones, is recognized.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. President. Good afternoon, fellow mechanical engineers, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, our next speaker to inspire us for today is a person who is not only an academician, not only a professor, not only an entrepreneur, not only a researcher, not only a professional mechanical engineer, not only a doctor of philosophy, but he is also a writer. He had written a book entitled An OFW's Personal Saga Through Love, Faith, and Hope. An author and co-author of articles published in journal at IASPER, MEJDN, IJBSSS, and ResearchGate. Our speaker got his Bachelor of Science of Mechanical Engineering degree at University of San Jose Recoletos. He is a registered mechanical engineer in 1972 and had been professional mechanical engineer in 1979. He had a tremendous educational achievement. Our speaker had completed 5 doctors of philosophy in different fields and 3 master degrees to mention. To mention some of the doctor of philosophy and master degree, he had Doctor of Philosophy in Arts at Philippine Christian University on 2018. Doctor of Philosophy in Business Management at Philippine Christian University in 2009. Doctor of Philosophy in DMEM at University of San Jose Recoletos on 2004. Doctor of Philosophy in Human Resource Development at University of Recoletos on 1989. Doctor of Philosophy in Engineering at Coastal Carolina University on 1986. A Master Degree in Business Education at University of Asia Pacific on 2015. A Master of Science in Money at University of Jose Recoletos on 1983. Master of Business Administration at FEU in 1982. He is also taking his 6th Doctor of Philosophy in Management at the Lyceum of the Philippines, University of Batangas. Our speaker is also a postgraduate certificate, 7 professional development program at Harvard University, CEAF, 2012 to 2018. 1 advanced management program at University of Asia and Pacific, 2014 to 2018. 1 advanced management program at IESE Business School in Barcelona, Spain, 2015. 2 courses, Stocks and Bonds, CBE at University of Asia and Pacific, 2016. 3 courses from Asian Institute of Management, 2007 and 2011. Our speaker had been in teaching profession for 40 years and 30 years in corporate organization. He had been a teacher and professor for the following institution. He had been a professor in Masteral in Business Administration in AMA International, Bahrain. He had been professor in Masteral in Arab Open University in 2005 to 2006. And in 2006 to 2000, College of Business Aliyah University, Bahrain. 2005 to 2007, Graduate Program, Philippine Christian University. 2007 to present, Dean and Professor, Graduate Program, Philippine Christian University and Lyceum of Philippines University, Batangas, Aldersgate College. A college professor from 1978 to 1980 at University of Sampaloc, Manila. 1987 to 1986 to 1987 at University of San Jose Recoletos, Cebu City. He was also a principal and teacher at Al-Andalus International School in Al-Quba, Saudi Arabia. For his business affiliation, he had been CEO, EPM, and Associate Graduate Extension Program from 2005 to present. CEO, Principal, Al-Andalus International School in Alcobar, KSA from 1995 to 2019. Industrial Engineering Consultant from 1980 to 2003. Coast Engineer Bethel Corporation Indonesia Project 1976 to 1978. Various engineering position in various company 1968 to 1976. Our speaker is an international awardee also. To mention some, is Agawad Pinoy 2020 in Philippine Embassy, UAE. Agawad Pinoy 2018 and a recipient of Doctor's Fellow in Management and Education, a Blast Ople na Tatayang Bayani Award, and various award in professional activities, community service, and Philippine Embassy-related activities. There could have not been appropriate person than him to enhance, to enrich this board meeting. I'm absolutely delighted to introduce to you our inspirational speaker. Mr. President, may I request you to recognize our inspirational speaker, Dr. Eduardo Malagapo.
It is an honor to welcome our inspirational speaker, Dr. Eduardo Malagapo. Sir, we are very much excited to hear your message.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President and Mr. Secretary and the MC as well. And I thank the, the chapter officers for inviting me. I appreciate very much for this great invitation from our society in Jeddah. I think this is the society that has been chartered by, I remember, what's the name of the guy who's chartered you?
Neil Tan, sir.
Yeah. By the way, where is now Mr. Tan?
He's already passed away.
Oh, sorry for that. Oh. Anyway, I missed that guy because he was the one to charter, and I think this was chartered in 1995, 5 years after we were chartered also, right?
1995.
Yeah, I think. But I don't know why it is only 17.
Actually, it is our 25th year in service, but when they have organized the annual convention, they did not organize it from the start.
Okay.
It was on a later date.
Yeah,
I think it was only in year 2000 that the annual convention celebration was started.
Okay, so you started late in your.
So in our magazine that will be released, it is written 25 years in service, but it is just only on the 17th annual convention celebration.
Okay, how is the other chapter there? There's another one then.
Yes, we have also here Jeddah chapter.
So it is a joint meeting, huh?
It's not a joint meeting because actually they have their own also.
Okay.
So they are also a PSME chapter, PSME Jeddah chapter.
Yeah, I know now. I know because I was there. I was the one doing some kind of induction in that chapter.
Yeah, you have chartered us as PSME-JWR when PSME-WRSA was then delisted.
Yeah, that's right.
And then from that, we created a resolution combining both PSME-WRSA and JWR,
Okay.
carrying the name of PSME-WRSA Jeddah chapter.
So past President Ruben is part of this.
Yes, sir. Past President Engineer Ruben Bisirano is with us.
Where is he now?
He is now in the Philippines, Doked, but I don't know. Maybe he has something with him that he was not able to join us today.
Okay, but he's still working in Jeddah.
He has already gone for final exit.
Okay. I think he has already his own entrepreneur, right?
I think so, sir. I think so.
Consultancy, yeah. Anyway, our message is I will have to present it through a PowerPoint for you
Okay,
to
sir. Let
bear with.
me make you a co-host so that you can present.
Yeah, can I have? Okay, again, I'll have to address it to the body, to this August body. Mr. President, PSME-WRSA, the secretary whom I know through email, Secretary Joe, and the other members of the board, and some officers, and the incoming officers for 2021, and the beloved members of this society. Sorry. Oh yeah, this is the one. No? So now our message for today is about transformation leadership, in which I will have to share to you how a leader starting from scratch up to the time that he is being held as a leader. So my dear friends, in the society, he uses a participative management kind of approach. And what is participative management? It is just like a TQM, meaning to say from top to bottom, from bottom to top. There is always a kind of coordination between the top management down to the least of his people. In other words, whatever is the vision and mission on that particular corporate culture, it is being coordinated by all the employees, from the chairman of the board up to the list of the employees, probably the janitor. And that is participative management. It has been achieved in Toyota Corporation. You name any kind of Japanese corporation, and this is one of the management that they are using. By the word participative, this is participation. In other words, all people participated in the process. And that's why Harley Davidson achieved what they want to achieve on those particular years under the CEO Rich Sterling. Another example is Apple. Before Steve Jobs died, he came back to Apple. And what he did was change-oriented approach in talent. You mean by talent? That's the human capital. The product development, because he is so good in developing products. Then reorganizing the structure and intense marketing. You know, some of the corporate cultures or corporate organizations was a failure because their marketing strategy was not done well. In other words, there was no in-depth research on how to market their product. And that is the corporate culture for transformed leader. Now the question is, how about us? On the next slide, we have transformed leaders from the society, the Prevalent Society of Mechanical Engineers. The first leader that I observed was my student and Minty, Dr. Maury Dimdam, the past national president. He established good governance. He encouraged new leaders to be dynamic. And he wants participation in all areas of discussions. Now, why I mention this person? Because he was one of those members and became the past president of the Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers Saudi Arabia chapter. And I am talking about the members and who emerged as leaders in that chapter. And next to him is the present national president, Dr. Jeffrey Singson, who was also my student and my mentee in both the MBE and the PhD degrees. And you can see how they are doing now. And what I observed from Jeff is that his orientation is on the millennial approach. He is just a 39 years old guy. I think the youngest of all the national presidents since time immemorial. And he did a good job. I salute this guy. And why? Because during his time, when he was a student under me, he was really studious. He worked hard. And he did whatever assignments being assigned to him. And look, when he was invited by Dr. Moridin Dam to participate in the board of directorship in 2016, he never said no. He said, yes, I'll be there. He was then the director of strategic management. And then the next year, he was elected as secretary. And according to Jeff, being a secretary is the secret. That's why secretary is the secret of all jobs to become the national president of Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers. That's why I have to tell all our members and officers, whoever you are, if the president of your club will ask you to become the secretary, get it right away. Don't think otherwise. Because that's the only way that you will become one of the top leaders in the future. And that was happened to Dr. Jeffrey Singson, a millennial-oriented person using the human capital, the strategic management tools that he got it from our academics, from his being an MBE and PhD student, and he knows how to organize a structure and do the so-called intense chartering. As you can see and observe that there are so many chapters now, and has that kind of persuasion towards unification. Although he is not the one, but there are so many people who are eyeing for this unification process. But because he was on the top stage as the leader, then I can say that he is part of the process of unification. And there are some other leaders who are national officers now who came from our chapter. And some of them are the Vice President, Sammy Perez, National Auditor Ransom Perotti, the Vice President for Luzon, Carlito Alpay, and more than that will come. I was asked by some of our members that, sir, why are you not aspiring to become national leader? I told them, no, it's good for me to be appointed. I don't have any problem. And besides, I am not ready to handle that because I'm still helping our OFWs to complete their masteral and doctoral degree in the Middle East. The next slide is now how we know that these four aspects of the transformed leader really matters. The first one is the idealized influence. What do you mean by this idealized influence? First of all, you should know how to instill pride in members for being a member. Look, you have to observe your member. You have, as much as possible, respect his rights. Respect whatever he has. Put him in the pedestal that he wanted. And you can see what will be the outcome. It is just like empathizing a person. You put your shoes on the other person, and what will happen? That person will also respect you. So there is a so-called respect to each other. That's why you have to instill pride to that person so that that person will also instill pride unto you. It is just like do unto others as you wish others will do unto you. Or you have to sow good things in order to reap good things. Second, display a sense of power and confidence. Always have that power and confidence. You know what I observed for most of Filipino engineers? They are very good as far as doing their work. They are very good as far as focusing on how they are doing their job. But on the other hand, they lack some kind of communication process. And look at those Indians and the Pakistanis. They got more positions than ourselves. Why? Because they know how to deal politically and any other kinds of means in order for their communication process as a marketing strategy for them to get the position. I am so happy that we have the Toastmasters Club, and it helps a lot. But then we have still to continue with that process. Number 3, go beyond self-interest for the common good. Sometimes we are only talking of ourselves. Sometimes we are only knowing that we exist without even thinking of the other person who are also existing. So this is the so-called having our own self-interest. But we have to go beyond that self-interest in order for you to help and support the other person's so-called vision and mission in his life. Number 4, talk only the most important values and beliefs. If the values and beliefs that you are talking is nonsense, then please don't do that. Only talk to those with sense. Number 5, consider the moral and ethical consequences of decisions. That's true. If we fail on ethics and morality of whatever things that we're going to decide, then there is a so-called consequences on that. And we have to be careful. Morality, ethical considerations are necessary in our work. And the last one is emphasize the importance of having a collective sense of mission. It means to say that when you are working in a company, all people who are involved in that mission, and that particular mission and vision of the company, everyone should coordinate and everyone should see to it that they follow the policies and procedures of the company. Let's go to the next, which is individualized consideration. What do you mean by this? First of all, you have to spend time coaching others. That's true. There are some of you or some of us are very happy in helping others by coaching them of what we know, giving them all the kinds of information and data in order for them to strive hard and also to know what they want to know, especially in the fields that we are expert. But sad to say that there are people also doesn't want to share what they have. Maybe because of selfishness, and maybe they don't want they don't want to share. They want it to be theirs alone. And that is not a good practice. You have to share, you have to coach, you have to advise whatever is possible. Consider employees as having different needs, abilities, and aspirations from others. Now, if you happen to know that there are some of your friends or colleagues working in the same company having that kind of needs, then we have to consider them, their abilities. Let's help them out, let's support them, and let them aspire what they want to aspire in order for them to be successful. Because when you are successful and you see some other people who are also successful because you help them, you support them, then there you will find happiness. Number 3, help employees develop their strengths and provide various formal training programs to improve the performance of duties. This is what PSME is doing. Make some training, even if there is a so-called CPD required. But the thing is, you are helping them. You are supporting them. Because there are people who wants to know other fields in order for them to change their work. So help them also. Don't think of any competition, because we know for sure that whatever you do for the good of other people, God will really pay you on that particular matter. As I said, whatever you sow, you will reap. Or do unto others as you wish others will do unto you. And then you need some intellectual stimulation. What does this mean? First is to emphasize the effectiveness or the effective coordination among different functional areas and seek differing perspectives when solving problems. There is always a good coordination necessary among all areas that are functional. And if there are some differing perspectives, then it has to be debated, it has to be assessed, it has to be thought out so that there will be a common solution to the problems at hand. Second, suggest new ways of completing assignments. Now, if the way that you are doing now does not hold true to the assigned task, then find out for other tools, for other ways. Because there is not only one way. There might be so much way. It is just a matter of how you will apply these ways. So, do some kind of alternatives. That's why in solving a case study, in solving a problem, there are always alternatives to be used. So that if alternative A is not applicable, then you have alternative B, C, and D. So that's one way of completing an assignments, by having so many tools to be used in that particular problem. And number 3, undertake a comprehensive analysis when confronted with an important decision. Comprehensive analysis is very much necessary when there is an important decision to be made. In other words, do your homework, do your research. Just like some of those senators and congressmen, when they go to the August body, they are always prepared. Because if they are not prepared during the debate, it will be a failure for them. And it will also reflect in their personality. So it is the same thing when you are working in a corporate culture. See to it that every day, as soon as you go to your work, you are always ready to face your supervisor, ready to explain whatever things they want to know from you. And most of the time, you have the backups. Be ready with your backups. Solutions to the problem, solutions to the case studies, and whatever the problems are given to you by your boss. And for the Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, if you are the president, you should know what are those answers to the underlying questions with regards to the issues and concerns that comes your way. You know for sure that for the next 12 months, if you are now the incoming president, for the next 12 months, before January, you will know what are those what are those issues and concerns to be done for the next 12 months. And one of those things that you want to do is to be a very good coordinator of all the board of directors and the committee chairman. And everything will be in its proper hands. So this needs an intellectual stimulation. And that's the meaning of intellectual stimulation. In other words, you have to stimulate now your intellect with regards to the incoming issues and concerns. And whatever tools that are necessary for you to accomplish, then use it. And if you're not having been in our program with the MBA and PhD, try to review the SWOT analysis tool, SWOT, and it can help you a lot. But try to review that. And to those who have also been doing this balance scorecard, please try to review this balance scorecard. And another tool for you to review is the tool which is used in the marketing strategy, which is the 4 Ps: the products, the price, the promotion, and the place. And another one tool which which can enhance you is the balance scorecard. I think I have said it again. Balance scorecard. Why? Because in this balance scorecard, you will know what are the systems utilized by the corporate culture and the use of the human capital, and how the financial aspects are being benchmarked or are being monitored, and also the process of how it is operationally done. So if you are working in a manufacturing concern, knows this balance scorecard. If you are working in construction industry, knows this SWOT analysis. And if you are working in a marketing kind of culture, use the blue ocean strategy. And if you are working in consultancy, use all these tools. So those are the things that are necessary for you in order for you to be prepared when there are some important decisions to be made. Then there is a so-called individualized consideration. Is this the one? No. Inspirational motivation. This is the last one. Why being motivated? Why are we inspired to be motivated? The first one is talk optimistically about the future. Meaning to say, when you are motivated, you are always looking for the future, optimistic. COVID-19. Currently, we are in COVID-19. And the next few months, it will be after or post COVID-19. What should be our future after the COVID-19? That's a big problem. Because after COVID-19, there is a change as far as technology is concerned. Right now, we have seen so many changes in technology. As I said before, there is a change in meetings, just like what we are doing now. And probably in the next few months, we have to go back to physical meeting, seeing each other physically. But how about this virtual meeting that we are doing now? It still remain. So in other words, there will be two options that we will have to choose, either by virtual or either by physical meeting. So that will be discussed optimistically with regards to the future operations. The second, talk enthusiastically about what needs to be accomplished. You know, this is a problem of some of our people. Why? Because if they are not feeling well, they are not talking well. Remember that when we are talking about what accomplishment that we are going to do, it has to be communicated fairly and enthusiastically. Tell him what you think and listen to what he said. And that is what communication is. There is always an enthusiasm for both of you, for both of us. Why? Because in enthusiasm, we can get the right approach to the problem. Enthusiasm begets emotion. If you are enthusiastically excited, your emotion is high. But if you are not, your emotion is low. And you will not entertain that person for a good communication process. All right? So the third is express confidence that the goals will be achieved. Always think that whatever goal that you are thinking of as person, as individual, or on a corporate culture, you are always confiding yourself that that goal will be achieved. In other words, having all these four aspects of a transformational leader, I can say that your future is good. I can say that you are a transformed leader. And I can say that as a transformed leader, you will be successful. And the society that you are handling as an officer or as a president will also be successful. And in conclusion, I can say that the lesson that we learned today is just an eye-opener for us to know who is the real leader during the COVID-19 and after the pandemic. So if that real leader will continue to be a leader after the COVID-19, then you can say that leader is a transformed leader. Regardless of what happened to him the previous, for as long that he has been transformed, he will continue to retransform until such time that all of his objectives are attained. And the second is, this will affirm that transformational leadership is more realistic than some other leadership models. There are so many leadership models that are being hatched, that are being presented to us, but not at all that can transform into a good leader. And that's why having all those four approaches, I know for sure that your leadership is coming. And the last is such effectiveness made this leadership the most dominant paradigms at current situation and is now currently used as model by emerging and striving companies. We sit aside politically. Our president is a transformed leader. Don't listen to what he says in his lips, but let just see him work. And that is what I'm doing. I want action. So if you are a leader who is gently, you don't know, you don't want to offense a person, then be as good as you are. For as long as you have to take action. So the most important thing here is the action leader. That's why if you are a transformed leader, then you take action and let that action speak more than words. My friends in the society, my recommendation is this. Be sure that what you sow, you will reap. And that what you sow should let you become a transformation or transformed leader. And being a transformed leader, let action speaks. God bless you all. God bless us all. Merry Christmas to all of you. Back to the MC, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ed, for sharing with us a leadership transformation strategy. And I do hope that we can translate some of those in our leadership career. And in behalf of PSME-WRSA Jeddah chapter, we would like to thank you for inspiring us today. And as a token of our gratitude, we would like to award you a plaque of appreciation. And may I request our secretary to please read the content?
Thank you, Mr. President. Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Western Region, Saudi Arabia, Jeddah Chapter, presents this plaque of appreciation to Dr. Eduardo P. Malagapo, PSME National, VP Foreign Affairs, in grateful recognition and profound appreciation of his unselfish dedication, support, and invaluable contribution for being the inspirational speaker during the chapter's 17th Annual Conference and General Membership Meeting, first virtual annual conference, given this 4th day of December 2020 via virtual conferencing, signed Aldrin Allison D. Lango, Chapter President, signed Roselier A. Unsay Jr., Vice President, Internal Affairs and Conference Chairman, and signed John Ray O. Madla, Committee on Awards and Recognition Chairman. Please accept our humble token of appreciation, Dr. Ed Malagapo.
Sir, thank you so much for the this token of appreciation. And I hope, sir, that you can also give me a copy of the record because I will put this in my history bank as a part of my academy. So thank you so much for everything. And I pray that God will always give you blessings in the coming year, 2021. And we might also be seeing each other again through virtual or by physical means. I hope so. And say you also, if you are interested to be part of our program, taking your degree, MBE, or PhD, if that is your line of doing some kind of future accomplishments. Thank you so much for for everything, and thank you so much for giving me this uh, time and opportunity. I just get uh, a photo. Just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. I need.
May we request our IT director to please
Yes, sir. Please.
make
Ready?
the photo
Right
ops.
now, ready?
Yes.
Ready now?
On
Ready?
your camera, please.
Okay. One,
Please
two.
roll. One more
Okay.
time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you once again, Dr. Ed. And once the recording will be already ready, we will send you a copy of it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay.